So, anyways, on to Britney Spears. We already went over her Instagram, so there's only like one new Instagram post, and there's also that TMZ thing where she's kind of getting wild in the club. I watched it, and the thing is, you can't really hear what she's saying. And it's like, to be honest with you, at this point, I kind of just feel sorry for Britney Spears. And it's like, I'm not saying that I don't want to go over it, but it's like, it's just kind of sad. Like, she goes out and you'll see what happens. Nothing really happens. But
well, to give a backstory, I've been not following. I'm not a fan. Like, I'm a fan. I saw her and Backstreet Boys perform at iHeartRadio in Vegas and stuff.
We grew up with Britney Spears.
Well, yeah, and she filmed where I play basketball at Venice High School, and where what's the other, Grease was filmed. But like, yeah, so I'm like, oh, this is where she filmed Hit Me Baby One More Time. So I know all this. What I'm saying is that I've seen a girl that after she got, like, I'm being totally raw here. After I saw her get off her whatever, her parents running her life, whatever, it's been the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And
I thought it was going to end. I thought, like, for some reason, maybe she's fine now, but it's
her conservatorship might have been the best thing for her. I can't speak about it because I'm not her husband, but her husband in this video walks off, and I mean, you can't see it, but he walks out of the restaurant's like, okay, I'm leaving. So yeah, I mean, it's not wrong to marry a 24, 6, 8, 28, whatever he is, year old. All I'm saying is that what I've seen from her in her posts, like, it doesn't make any sense. It's her just dancing in her family room in Calabasas. Yeah, she moved to Calabasas. So what I'm seeing is just like kind of somebody falling apart or being liberated. Sorry, like, I don't want to offend anybody, but like, I don't know.
If we're gonna keep talking about it,
I come from the Midwest, my guess. So my idea of normal is very different. Anyways, there you go.
You're a Midwestern boy, corn fed Midwestern boy.
Corn fed Midwestern boy. Here you go.
Just like Logan Paul.
This is on TMZ.
All right, so obviously there's not much. You can just pull it out of this so it doesn't stay on that, but so it shows us talking or whatever. But obviously, I'm just gonna say, then I'm gonna ask you. There's not a whole lot of context to that video, like.
Correct.
So, do you have any more context to what's? I mean, I don't know if you've been to. Not like it matters if you've been to the place, but first of all, who's the guy standing in front of her? Is that like a waiter? Do we know?
It's a waiter, and she's covering her face because, of course, she's a celebrity. So
yeah, I feel sorry for her.
I kind of do too, but I mean, it's the life her parents or her brought her into.
Really, her parents, honestly.
Probably her parents, yeah.
Well, but she was young. Mother. She started very young, right? I mean, she could
very young.
Yeah, so she could have stopped, but it's hard to stop at that point.
I don't know about preteen, but pretty darn close. So what happened was, and this is from her own social media. She posted about this prior to the video being released. She just actually posted her own photos of it, and her own, I think it was photos or videos. And what I saw was, so what's understood is that her husband was there. They were there for dinner. He walked out and was like, oh, I don't want to deal with this right now. And it is possibly from fans. You don't know. But it like the thing she said on her Instagram, and people can go to Britney Spears' Instagram and look. unless she deleted it. But it was like it was like every post she writes now is a rant that makes no plausible sense. It's just like blah 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 blah. And you're gonna hate me for this, and I'm gonna post this because, well, and it's like, what does that have to do with you being in a restaurant? So when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I really genuinely think this girl's losing her mind. I really think she's losing her mind, man. I think the
Similar
conservatorship,
to Kanye West, I think. I mean, not in what she's saying, but the fact that they're both celebrities who are losing their mind. Yeah.
No, I think it's very similar. I don't know if she's been diagnosed with anything, but like all of the posts before this were her like at her home in a bikini dancing like crazy, like just spinning her hair around like that. And I'm like, what? And then her in the what do you call it? In the shower. She's in the shower and she's just naked and she's like, look at my eyes or whatever she said, not my breasts, or I shouldn't say that, but she said something similar to that. And it's like, I do, you don't need more attention. You're Britney Spears. Right. And it's not even like sane. It's not even the things she's doing are like, if she had a manager or somebody looking over her estate or her well-being would say, never post that. And all you have to do, Micah, is go back and look at Britney Spears like this week. Just look at her posts on Instagram. And I'm not hating on her. I loved her. But I don't know what she's becoming. Like I cannot tell you. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Well, it's sad. It's sad, and I think like once again, how you said we need to make boundaries or define how basically we should be treating celebrities, which I think is like an impossible thing to do because you have to stop everyone from loving these or whatever celebrities. But I think that we do need to figure out a way of, well, what we could do really honestly is like not allow your child or your teenager to go into movies or music or TV or whatever. Right. Because I mean, I've like literally heard takes on people saying that like child actors just shouldn't act because if you think about it, as a child, you're not ready to make that decision to act. It's your parents who are making the decision, right? Your parents are making the decision for you to act. So if you were to act as a 5-year-old and then people saw you in some movie or TV show when you're older and you don't want that, that can ruin things, right? Right, Jordan? You can say Jordan had to step away. So yeah, I don't really know. I don't know if there's a whole lot more to say about that. We went over the Instagram post. There was a new post. The only other thing that I was going to bring up about that was something's going on with her and her sister too. Like this was from a month ago, but it says Britney Spears post loving tribute to estranged sister Jamie Lynn Spears, shocking fans. It says it's my B-day, but you're my heart, so I'm thinking about you. The tribute read.
The way I read into that, and like I've seen those posts, I think Britney Spears is becoming like, you got to remember a girl who's trapped. I don't know, in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
She's big. When did she come out? 90s. So she's trapped in the 90s. Her sister's probably, I can't speak for her, but like moved on with life, like as we know it. And there's I know there's been a lot of confrontation between the two of them, but what I would say is that like you don't know. I mean, I think Jamie Lynn learned from her sister's mistakes, maybe, right? And it's not mistakes. I mean, she was thrust into the beast of pop culture from a very young age, and so I think that that's going to take a lot of, I don't know. I mean, if you and I were brothers and I disappeared for a long time, um, it's going to take a lot of reparation, repairing the relationship, and I think it's possible. Yeah, it's weird to see Britney this way. Like I know she has full control of her media now, and she's whatever, but it makes me a little nervous to see her because I think she's done. I don't think she's going to come back. That's my opinion.
I mean, I don't know if she was ever going to come back in terms of.
Well, no, she had a Las Vegas, like, what do you call it? Your regular Las Vegas.
Yeah,
she had her show.
Residency.
She had a residency. She had, I don't know. I saw her with Backstreet Boys at Kiss, like iHeartRadio, Kiss FM, all the Kiss FMs. She was doing good. A lot of her stuff was mouth, a lot of dancing, but her audio, her vocals were mouth, or lip synced. So I don't know. I would say this, as sad as it is, I think it could be potentially the end of Britney Spears. Like I think her having control, as sad as that is, and that's not her fault. It's all the steps that led to her having to get sponsorship and then abiding by it. So anyway.
Yeah, and one other thing is, I just said that she wasn't going to come back, but I guess you were right because I do remember reading this. It says planned Beyonce and Britney Spears collaboration falls through, so she was going to collaborate with Beyonce, who's like still one of the biggest stars, and I guess that's falling through. So I don't know how bad it's going to get. When you say she's done, I don't know if you mean her singing career or just in general, like if it's going to get really bad, like rock bottom.
I think if I were to predict, I would guess her singing career is done. And it doesn't help because when I was like, I'm not a Britney Spears troll or anything, but I was just analyzing her likes over the years, right? And it goes from 2 million likes to 30,000 likes. And I'm sorry, for like the biggest pop singer of all time, that's detrimental, right, to your Instagram, right? If your Instagram is saying you're only getting 30,000 or 60,000 likes on a post, and 6 years ago you were getting 13 million likes, I mean, like, it's just business, right? So
yeah, the thing is with that is my take on that is that, okay, so I don't know how it is being a celebrity. Obviously, I'm not a celebrity. From looking at it from the outside, I'm like, oh, I wish I was a celebrity. I wish I could have a bunch of money and everybody loves me. And no matter what, you do, like, you can find something fun to do and girls like you and everything.
No,
in her situation, guys like you, but what, you don't want girls to like you? Well,
no, I just don't.
In my situation now, I don't really care, but being younger, but does that come with a lot of stress? Does it come with a lot of, like, just, I don't know, like, does it fuck with you a whole lot? It must. And if you think about Britney Spears, like we said, she started from a young age and now she's in her 30s, right? And you were saying how her numbers have gone down, and I was thinking, well, it's probably because of the dancing that you said. People don't really want to see her doing what she's doing. But then it's like a lot of the other celebrities like Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, all these, like you were saying about Andrew Callahan, probably have not necessarily lawyers, but people telling them what to do. And it's like she maybe just got to the point where she's like, fuck it, I'm just going to do what I want. And I'm just going to, like, dance in this. It looks weird, but, like, maybe she's just letting loose in her way. No, it is kind of crazy.
No, she is. And that's great for her. It's stuff.
I'm not saying it's good.
No.
That she's letting loose, but she is just
Micah.
Like, yeah.
What she's doing now is what we did when we were like 13 to 17, and that's why I think she's stuck in that age bracket, right, from the 90s.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that she's putting on there, we're like, you're an adult with kids. Like you're old now, almost old, right? Like 40s, I'm 40, so whatever. But like you're getting older. You need to make responsibility. You have to make responsible decisions. And what I'm seeing is her not doing those. She's reverting back to infancy. Not infancy, but like preteen, right? And that's expected from somebody who is thrust into the limelight at a young age. And
well, it
I
wasn't.
don't.
That's the
It's
whole
not.
thing. I wasn't disagreeing with you. I think that you were right. It was more of a situation where it was like you're right, but it's probably because she's been in the limelight for so long. It just fucks with you, and it's like, especially if you've been in the limelight since you were in your teens. And I feel like some people do handle it well. Like it seems like Leonardo DiCaprio or Ryan Gosling, or like some of these guys who have been around for forever, handle it well. But I mean, who knows how I would handle it? I don't know. Like I said, I would think that I would like it, but I might lose it too. You know what I mean? Being under the spotlight all the time. That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think we're not in her brain, so it's really hard for us to like not judge, but just like give advice to somebody who she's probably got a lot of emotional things she has to deal with. And I mean, the number one thing I'd say to her if I was if she was my friend is go see a therapist. Like just let it all out, right? And I don't know. I haven't read anything about her seeing a therapist, but like I pray to God she is. Um what I've seen on Instagram and TikTok, whatever, is like I'm like, oh my God, dude, what, like this doesn't even make sense. The stuff you're posting doesn't even make sense. So obviously her conservativeship, whatever, uh, stopped being in control of her social media, and it's just like what I'm looking at is like, and you, all of you guys can go on her Instagram and look. I'm not like, and you're gonna all be like, that's a little freaking weird. And that's sad coming from an icon like Britney Spears. But
Yeah, well,
moving on.
the big question, real quick, on this is the whole celebrity thing. I am very interested in the whole celebrity thing. And do you think that most celebrities, a lot of people think that most celebrities are what's the word? Like, I don't really want to say like unhinged, but like out of touch, I guess. Do you feel like most celebrities are out
No,
of touch?
no,
You
no,
think there's a lot of them that are just
no.
totally normal, like
Like, yes.
people.
Look at The Rock. Look at like people like Harrison Ford. Look at The Rock. Look at, I mean, these people have normal lives, right?
Kevin Costner, yeah.
Kevin,
But
Kevin Costner.
they also didn't stop. They also didn't start at such a young age, I don't think. But
No,
I
no,
think that
no.
I think that fucks with you starting at such a young age. Michael Jackson, most child actors don't grow up to be.
Well, how long does it take your brain to develop, right? And so, you know, you see people that are stunned at a young age. They're stunned. They can't move on, right? Like they're just stuck in that age until someone lets them loose, and then they revert back to that age. I'm sure Britney Spears, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing Britney Spears thinks she's 17, right? Like, you know, I think that when you look at like Kevin Costner or you look at The Rock, I mean, he's got a great family and he's on top of it and he does great for his kids and he's respectful and loves his wife and all. Like, I'm not saying you have to have a wife. I'm just saying he does all these things that are like family oriented, right? And maybe that's because he's been in Disney movies instead of like Hit Me Baby One More Time. But like what
Well,
I'm
she
saying
was in
is,
Disney from the get go, right? Wasn't it Disney that she was in?
yeah, but it was the
No, I see
Disney,
what you're
like the
saying.
pop singer. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I'm saying though is that like yeah, there's a case of celebrities that can be. I mean, dude, celebrity. I would never want to be a celebrity. I wouldn't, because I see the pain and the emotional trauma that is caused by being a celebrity, and your life kind of being on pause from before whenever you're a celebrity. Look at you and me, Micah, right? Like we lived our lives. We grew up in SJC, San Juan Capistrano. We grew up in Chicago. We had pretty freaking normal lives. And we, every year that goes by, we grew with that year. Now imagine that being halted at 14 and being like, hey, you got to go back to that. Like I wouldn't even know how to act 14 anymore. Right.
Yeah. And it makes sense too, because if you think about it, like you said, being stuck like she was a teenager, it makes sense because if you think about it, she was, like I said, I keep going back to, she was working full time probably as a teenager. And it's like, could you imagine if your parents were like, you got to get a full-time job at like 12 or something like it, even if it was McDonald's or I don't know. Like it just, I know.
Dude, you're up at like 3 a.m. You're up at 4 a.m. for shoots and they're putting makeup on you and you're just like, yeah, you're stuck in that age. I don't think
it's right. And so if the dad or whatever, I don't know the situation, he can be a good guy, but he had her in the conservatorship with people, which people had a problem with, but it's like, dude, like, I hate to say it, but it's like, it might be, it's kind of the parents' fault, maybe. And I'm not even blaming them, as maybe at the time they didn't know they didn't know that was bad. But all I'm saying is that now I think we should set boundaries on how old kids can work and get essentially famous at age 13.